On Sunday, May 7, 2017, veterans, family members and friends, volunteers, and the general public gathered at Embassy Suites for the send-off of the 18th Flight for Honor Flight Northern Colorado.
She's just bawling as she's getting off the plane. It was the coolest thing we've ever done.
So you're obviously a World War II veteran. What years did you serve?
Well, I went in from June the 16th of 1942 to October the 12th of 45.
45. You were in for most of the war then. Did you serve overseas then, or where at?
Well, I was in England for over a year, and then I went to the invasion of France and landed in Omaha Beach. And I went through France and I went to Germany and up to Würzburg, Germany. That was when the war ended, and it was about 100 miles from Berlin.
What branch?
Branch?
Yeah.
The 830th Aviation Engineers. I was lucky. I've been a truck driver, I've been a company clerk, I've been a kitchen worker. I've been a little of everything, but one thing, I was close to it. You could hear it, but I wasn't in it, really.
At Omaha Beach?
Omaha Beach.
Yeah. You come on after they had already landed.
And then we went up to Metz, and they had the Battle of Metz.
Yeah.
And we were there, and we got strafed by the German planes.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were in the Battle of the Bulge. Yeah, I'd do it all over again if I had to. This is a good country.
Absolutely.
We have to protect it. We like it the way it is.
Well, that's the reason we're honoring you guys with these trips, because we recognize that.
Well, it was just as much for us as it was for the people that didn't go.
Yeah. So, can you just tell me what this going on this trip means to you?
It means a lot to me. I don't need to get paid for anything that we did.
Right.
I did it because I believed in it. I wasn't drafted. I enlisted in the service because I believe in my country.
Well, I want to thank you for your service, and thanks for coming on the trip with us. So, Vietnam veteran.
Yes, I joined the Navy Waves when I got out of high school in '64. And after recruit training in the old World War II barracks in Bainbridge, Maryland, I got selected for photography school in Pensacola, Florida. So after A school, then I got sent to Corpus Christi, Texas.
So, what does it mean for you to go on the trip?
It's wonderful.
Well, thanks for your service.
Thank you for interviewing.
So, you're a Korean War vet.
Yes, sir.
What years did you serve?
53, 57.
Okay. And did you serve in Korea?
Oh,
or?
yeah, I was in Korea May 54, May 55.
And that was kind of after the...
Right after the armistice. I was stationed up north. We were about 15 minutes from the DMZ at Chuncheon. We had the T-6s based there for the spotting that they did. And then later on, we moved down to K-55, Osan. And then later on, again, we moved out of Osan to Kimpo at Seoul. I did mostly payroll and personnel work. And I wound up at one time doing mail clerk. And I joined Service See the World, and I got as far as Cheyenne after basic training. And They wanted to keep me as an instructor, and it was tech school at the time. I said, no, I don't want to do that.
So was that Air Force? Or?
It was Air Force. It was tech training base.
Uh-huh.
And I wound up in Korea,
Yep.
which was a tremendous experience.
Oh, yeah.
You know, while you're there, you can see the devastation that the war creates.
Well, I want to thank you for your service.
Well,
Thanks for going on the trip with us.
We look forward to it.
Yeah, you have a great time.
Okay, thank you.
So you're a Korean vet?
Yes, I am. I was at the land there when the war ended.
Uh-huh. What years were you actually over there then?
I was in there in late 52, 53. It ended in July 53. It's field artillery associated with the 3rd Infantry Division.
Okay. So you saw quite a bit of action then? And
Saw some. I'm not claiming to see a lot.
well, I want to thank you for going on the trip. I think you're going to have a really good time, and thank you for your service.
All right, thanks for being part of this. This is mind-boggling, really.
So you're a Vietnam vet?
Yes, sir.
And
I was over there 69 and 70 and had it made and come back in one piece and all that. So,
what kind of duty did you have?
oh, hell, I was in supply.
Uh-huh.
All I did drive big trucks and forklifts and had it made.
Well, I don't think they could have done it without you.
Oh, yes, they could.
What branch were you in?
I was in the Air Force.
Air Force?
Yeah.
Well, what does it mean for you to go on the flight with us?
It means everything. It's great. Great trip. I've heard a lot about it. I'm looking forward to seeing everything. I have a couple buddies up on that wall.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you get to go. Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Enjoy it.
Appreciate your time.
So you were a World War II veteran. Where did you serve at?
Pacific, Okinawa,
In the
occupation forces. We were in the first groups that went in from Okinawa went into Japan.
Japan.
And surprisingly enough, we never had one single incident or problem of any kind with the Japanese people. They were just as quiet, polite, subservient to a degree. We got into Tokyo and there was this real beautiful women's store. 2 beautiful young ladies were there, and there was a guy standing out in front. I was a staff sergeant at the time, and there was a couple other sergeants with me. We're walking down the street, and we hear this guy yell, "Hey, Marine!" We look around. We see this guy standing over there. So I went up, said hello, and I said, "You certainly speak good English." He said, "I should. I'm from Philadelphia." Yeah, he said, "I came over here to visit my folks in 41, and the war broke out, and I couldn't get home." He said, "I put in my second application." He said, "I haven't seen my family for over 4 years, but it'll be nice to get home again."
What does it mean for you to go on the flight with us today?
After so many years, it's a very pleasant surprise. It truly is.
Well, it took them too long to build the memorial, see?
Yeah.
It was 60 years too late on the memorial. So you retired from the military then?
Yeah. I had 26 years service at that time.
What rank were you?
Lieutenant Colonel.
Lieutenant Colonel.
Yep. I had 10 ranks. When I joined at 17, naturally I was a buck private at that time.
Thanks again for your service, and you have a great time
right.
on the obviously a Vietnam veteran.
Yes,
And what years did you serve?
65 through 69.
And were you in country then, or?
Well, I was in the Navy, so we did the Vietnam cruise
Right.
every 6 months. We're a group of 11 that are going from Brighton.
Oh, okay, yeah, I heard about you.
Yeah, we all grew up together, so we all signed up together, and we're all going together.
What does it mean for you to go on the flight?
Oh, just the idea of going to see the wall.
The wall.
I have a friend that was killed in November 22nd, 1966. It was during supply exchange with an aircraft carrier, and it was in a storm, and the lifespan from ship to ship broke, and it threw 4 of our shipmates over. Killed my partner, my friend, and it injured a couple officers, a couple of other guys on the ship. That was bad. That was a very bad night for,
Yeah.
So I'm going to go and find his name on the wall.
I want to thank you for your service. Thanks
You
for
bet.
going on the trip.
You bet. Thank you guys for doing it all.
You bet.
Yeah.
When were you in? Which conflict were you in?
World War II.
World War II?
43 to 46.
What kind of duty did you have?
Well, I went to school for a while, and then I ended up teaching electronics the rest of the time I was in at Navy Pier in Chicago.
Oh,
Never got out, never got a ship or anything. I had two brothers and a brother-in-law all in at the same time. They all got ships and went everywhere.
What does it mean for you to go on the trip with us?
Well, something I've wanted to do, but I didn't know whether I deserved it as much as a lot of guys that were in some pretty bad situations.
Well, I've talked to people who were in the heart of battle and they didn't think they deserved it either. So thanks for going on the trip. Thanks for your service.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Honor Flight Northern Colorado send-off for our 18th honor flight. With this flight, we will have taken 2,296 veterans of World War II, the Korean War, the War in Vietnam, plus Purple Heart recipients from some of the more recent conflicts. These trips are all special, but this one is a really special trip. And on this trip, our World War II veterans will be participating in the actual wreath-laying ceremony honoring Victory in Europe Day for World War II at the World War II Memorial. Also, Colonel Cass has arranged for us to visit the Vice President in his office in the White House. And finally, and also very significant, we are honoring the Estes Park Honor Flight Fundraising Committee, who have raised over $100,000 in support of Honor Flight. Honor Flight Northern Colorado is an all-volunteer effort. That is, we are staffed solely with volunteers and funded completely with donations. Veterans pay nothing for the trip. It's our way of saying thank you. The Embassy Suites Hotel for, I think now, 15 trips, or 14 or 15 trips, have provided this wonderful venue, the breakfast, and all the staffing to serve this organization and to serve this event free of charge. So, the reason we are all here is to thank you, veterans. We want to thank you for all that you have done. All those on active duty, and a special thanks to the heroes that have received the Purple Heart for wounds sustained We know of no other community-centered effort that has achieved such a milestone in the support of Honor Flight. It is especially significant because, as I said, it is their 100th birthday year. So please join us in thanking the committee and the community of Estes Park for this impressive achievement and their stellar support of their veterans and Honor Flight Northern Colorado. I'd like to ask them to come forward.
After a wonderful ceremony, the veterans, guardians, and medical team load the buses. The buses, red, blue, green, and gold, are escorted by well over 100 motorcycle riders, various law enforcement agencies, and 2 helicopters flying overhead. You will notice as the convoy heads down I-25 that they will pass through a gauntlet of well-wishers almost the entire route.
They did this last time too. They're going to keep the rope cars.
I say, remember they used to always try and cut
Yeah.
it.
Right, yeah. Miles.
Yes. Okay. That was his call thing?
Call sign at the end.
Oh.
And is it?
Yeah, what a difference from a year ago.
Oh, that was the second ship. But I just, yeah, to Tracy. That's where they were all waiting.
Do we see it?
This section of the route is fondly known as the Mile of Smiles.
I think they said this is Frederick.
Thanks.
Arriving at DIA, the veterans debus and once again pass through a gauntlet of well-wishers. There's a ceremony at a private hangar before they load the plane for the trip to Baltimore.
Thank you all. You guys are precious.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good trip.
Thank you.
Have a good trip, young lady.
How about those young Marines? Let's give them a round of applause again. That was great. My name is Bill Hudson. I'm retired from the United States Air Force, and I am just delighted to be here. Stan, thank you so much for inviting me again to come down and speak to these wonderful veterans. It is truly an honor for me to be here, and it's also very humbling. Is there a Mr. Crumb World War II vet in the audience? You are our oldest vet. God bless you. You're our eldest vet, 94 years old. Clay Davis. Clay Davis, 92 years old, World War II. Second oldest. I told a couple of you out in the audience that I'm the son of a World War II veteran. My father was a career Army officer, and he served in World War II in the European theater. Like so many of those folks at that period of time, he bravely volunteered, went downrange and served, came home, continued to serve in the Army, retired in 1963, and then passed away 14 years later at the young age of 59. He never spoke about his experiences in the military to any one of us in the family, so we never knew what my dad did in the military. But somewhere about midway through my military career, I was able to petition the Army records, and I got his military records. And I was surprised to find out what my dad did in the service. He volunteered in 1942. He was 23 years old, went in the service as a buck private. Don't know why he was singled out, but he was selected to go to OTS. Went to OTS. After graduating from OTS, he joined the 850th Engineering Aviation Battalion. His battalion saddled up and they went to England. Then they got on a ship and they landed at Utah Beach. And then they slugged it out through the hedgerows of France, nearly froze to death at the Battle of Bastogne, and then continued to fight until war's end in Berlin. Then he came home, and like I said, never spoke to anybody about this. So why do I tell you this story? Because it's important for you to share your message, your personal experiences in the military with your family and friends. If you have not done that, you need to. Because I would give anything for my dad to be sitting in this audience today with you. I would give anything if I could have visited with my father as an adult and talked to him about his experiences in World War II. So if you haven't shared your message, you need to do that. Well, like my father, you didn't choose the conflict, but you certainly raised your hand and said, "Send me." We are a stronger nation when we stand as one. We all know that. When you raised your right hand and you solemnly swore to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that you took that obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, you were saying, "I am willing to die to protect the freedoms of this country. Who the hell does that? You do. And we are so grateful for you to do that. You know, George Washington made a statement with regards to that, and let me just read that to you. The willingness with which our young people are likely to serve in any war, no matter how justified the war is, shall be directly proportional to how they perceive the veterans of earlier wars were treated and appreciated by their nation. Still true today, isn't it? We are so blessed to have organizations like Honor Flight of Northern Colorado that recognize and appreciate and show the love for all of our veterans. The people that you will meet on this trip, the memorials that you will see, and the love that will be poured out over the next 36 to 40 hours is going to be overwhelming for many of you. But it will reinforce just how much America loves you and cares for you and appreciates your service. My advice to you is you need to soak it up. Now listen, when I was a little boy, my dad used to give me a quarter to go to the movies. I could get a ticket, a bag of popcorn, and a soda pop and have change left over. All my heroes when I was a little boy growing up were all those great cowboys on the silver screen. I loved the cowboys. They were my heroes. But as I grew up and became a mature man, my heroes and my idea of a hero changed. Today, my heroes are the men and women who put on the uniform of their nation and selflessly serve their country to protect our freedoms. You are my hero. You represent everything that's good about America, and we owe you a great debt of thanks. So thank you for stepping forward when so many step backwards. Thank you for placing yourself between us and the enemy. Thank you for delaying your lives in serving this country. And thank you for serving as heroic examples for other Americans to see. You have made this nation an exceptional place to live. So may God bless you, may God bless America, and have a great trip.
We got sprayed.
What was that spraying for?
That's our welcome.
Okay, sit down, don't be spraying.
Coming out of the gate at Baltimore, the group is greeted by military personnel and airport travelers. As well, no veteran gets by without having a big red lipstick kiss planted on their cheek by the same woman who's come out for every flight. Arriving at the Baltimore Hilton, the veterans check into the room and freshen up. They then gather that evening for a nice ceremony banquet. After dinner, some retire to their rooms, while others retire to the hotel bar for a nightcap. The next morning, everybody's up bright and early for a hearty breakfast before heading in to Washington, D.C. for the tour.
Pool was demolished and major excavation began. While criticism of the memorial continued, the commitment of the workers on the site intensified.
You okay?
Many of them had served in the military.
I'm okay. This traffic is a bother.
first stop is the Marine Corps Memorial, or also known as the Iwo Jima Memorial. Here, a group photo will be taken.
You're about a mile, but this is go flight for about a mile. See what you guys walk. That's a 15-minute walk. Yeah, walk the same way. So you're right here.
The next stop is the beautiful World War II Memorial. It is extra special for our World War II veterans on this trip, as they have been asked by the National Park Service to participate in a ceremony that the Park Service is putting on that day. The next stop is one that is unique to all other previous honor flight trips, as this group has been invited to be honored by Vice President Pence.
How about a round of applause for these great guardians up here? Aren't they really something? Great job. Well, today it is my great honor, on behalf of the First Family, here on National Military Appreciation Month, to welcome so many heroes to this special place. And on behalf of the President of the United States of America, welcome to the White House. And also, can I just invite you to give a big round of applause to the Second Lady of the United States of America, my wife of 31 years, and a Marine Corps mom, Karen Pence. You know, it's deeply humbling for me to be here today with all the guardians who are gathered here, with members of Honor Flight Northern Colorado. I'd especially like you to give a round of applause to Colonel Stanley Cass, the president of this great organization. Stanley, where are you? Great job. Thank you, Colonel. You know, the men and women who've worn the uniform of the United States are our most cherished citizens. You are the patriots of the highest order. You stood up, you stepped forward to protect our nation and the values that we hold dear. Now, many of you served in Vietnam, where amidst the jungles and the rice paddies, you stood tall and proud. Your image seared into the mind of the American people, an everlasting sign of unwavering courage in the unquenchable spirit of the American people. To all of our Vietnam veterans, let me say, welcome home. Also, many of you stepped ashore in Korea, where you fought to protect the freedoms of that ancient land and establish a foundation of peace and prosperity that exists today. My father was one of you. You heard Secretary Shulkin mention it. My dad wore the uniform, served in combat in Korea. I have to tell you, it was deeply humbling for me to stand along the DMZ and look out over the landscape. Have General Brooks tell me that right over those few hills was Mount Baldy and Pork Chop Hill, where my dad had fought. Let me tell you what, I can attest, having seen it firsthand. Our Korean War veterans in the room won the freedom of millions of people of Korea, and it prospers to this day in South Korea. Thank you for your service. And today, as we celebrate the 72nd anniversary of VE Day, Victory in Europe Day, it's an honor and privilege, more than I can say, to be here with so many who fought in the greatest conflict of the 20th century and who won freedom in World War II. You served your country in a way and at a time that challenged each one of you to step up the preservation of our way of life. With you in the vanguard, America was able to stand as a beacon for freedom. Our nation marshaled every ounce of our strength to save freedom across the Atlantic, across the Pacific, and across the very world. The sons and daughters of America, and indeed all who call themselves free, will remember your names for eternity until the world stops turning. To all of you who won a victory in World War II, you have the undying thanks and gratitude of the American people. You know, it's especially humbling for me to stand before you today because I was not a soldier. As you already heard, I'm the son of a soldier, and I'm the proud father of a United States Marine. And I must tell you, to stand before so many who step forward in times of great trial in the life of this nation and serve with great distinction and great selfless courage is deeply inspiring to us all. And let me also say, even though some of you back there have hair the same color as mine, I want you to say on this honor flight, it's not how I see you. I know in the truth of it that you went to war as boys and you became men, and those men won freedom, and we will never, ever forget your service to this nation. God bless you all. So let me recognize just a few of the heroes that are in the room, although every single one of you wearing those hats that mark your service are heroes. And that's what these honor flights are really all about. You know, the old book says if you owe debts, pay debts. If honor, then honor. If respect, then respect. And all the people that make these honor flights possible know that this is just about paying a debt of honor and a debt of gratitude that our nation will never be able to fully repay to all of you. But we hope this experience fills your hearts with the absolute assurance that we'll never forget what you've done for us. People like Lieutenant Colonel William Thousand, himself a United States Marine who fought for America for more than a quarter century in the Pacific during World War II, in Korea, and in Vietnam. Is he here with us today? Let's give him a big round of applause. I think of others like Colonel Edwin Bogey of the United States Air Force, who flew for freedom in the 8th Fighter Bomb Wing from 1950 to 1978, or Private David Fager, U.S. Army, wore a Green Beret and now wears a Purple Heart, 2 Bronze Stars, and 12 gleaming medals on his chest. These are all veterans I've had the privilege to know their experience. The truth is, no matter where you served, every last one of you fought on the front lines of freedom. Because of that, because of you, freedom endures to this very day. You are among the rest of us, but make no mistake about it. You are the best of us. And on behalf of your Commander-in-Chief, I'm here to say thanks and to salute your service.
From the White House, next is the Korean War Veterans Memorial, with its lifelike statues and reflective wall. The last stop is the beautiful yet very somber Vietnam Memorial Wall. After 2 solid days of activities, it's time to fly home. The flight home has a very enjoyable feature, mail call, in which letters from area elementary students are passed out. What a nice way to cap off a wonderful trip. The group arrives back at DIA very late in the night due to a weather delay. Once they arrive back at the Embassy Suites, they are greeted by family and friends. They collect their luggage and are showered with gifts, including a quilt and a book about their memorial.
Here's to the heroes, those few who dare, heading for glory, leaving a prayer. Here's to the heroes who change our lives. Thanks to the heroes, freedom survives.
The group arrives back at DIA very late in the night due to a weather delay. Once they arrive back at the Embassy Suites, they are greeted by their family and friends, pick up their luggage, and are showered with gifts, including a quilt and a book about their memorial.